Welcome to the weekly Chinuch Hashkafa message based on this week's Parsha. And this week I want to share with you something that is fairly well known, but it deserves thinking about. And it comes, I think, together with a very important parenting message, besides a discussion that we can have with our children, that really we should stop and pause and give it some thought. So of course this week's Parsha is the Parsha of Pesach Sheni. The famous halacha, Vayiyu Anashim, there were people who were Tomei, who were unclean and couldn't bring the Korban Pesach, the very first one that they brought in the Mishkan, in the Midbar, in the desert. And they came to Moshe Rabbeinu and they said, Lomon Nigora, why should we lose out? And of course, Hashem gives them the mitzvah of Pesach Sheni, essentially that if someone in the Beis HaMikdash will be Tomei or B'derech Rechoika, unclean or distant, and wasn't able to bring the Korban Pesach, there's a second chance a month later to bring the Korban Pesach on the 14th of Iyar. And of course, the famous message that's learned from this idea is that there's always a second chance. In the words of the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Nishtoken Fafaln, nothing is lost, you can always make it up. Which of course in itself is an amazing message to discuss with children on a practical level what that means. You know, often children, if they misbehave or they don't learn or they don't do well in their Limud HaTorah or their Kiyum HaMitzvahs, what often happens is they give up because they think, well, if I messed up, I messed up. If I messed up the second week of the term or the second week of the year in the school, that's it, forget about it. It's not worth putting in the effort anymore. It didn't work. So this is in itself is such an important discussion to have, that it's in all areas of life, all areas of ruchnius, all areas of limud haTorah and kiyum mitzvahs, that every day is something new. We know that we say every day in davening, HaMechadish b'chol yom b'tuvay b'chol yom tomim ma'aser v'reishis. Hashem renews the creation every day. Every day is a new world. Every day is a new bria. Every day is a new chance. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't count the failure of yesterday. Hashem says to the child, you didn't learn yesterday, but today's a new day. The learning you do today, the mitzvah you do today, the behavior that you behave well today is a completely new chance. Hashem doesn't bring into the cheshbon of what happened yesterday. So this is a discussion to have, that we all make mistakes and we all fail and we all sometimes don't do what we're supposed to do, but we just can't give up. There's always a second chance. It's never lost. We can always start again. But there's something really important as parents to bear in mind as well. And I think this goes hands in hand in setting this example. It's not just a discussion that we can have with children, but it's an example we need to set. And the reflection that we need to have as parents, do we do the same thing with our children? Do we carry over the anger of yesterday? So yesterday I got upset with my child. They didn't do their homework. They didn't behave nicely. They were unkind to their younger sister or the younger brother. They were chutzpahdik maybe, and we got upset. And even if we got upset in the right way, in the proper way to do it, but we still were upset, or maybe we even did it in the wrong way, do we carry that over? Do we write the child off? Do we just say, do we define our children, this is a difficult child, this is a good child? And we sort of expect them almost to make mistakes. We expect them almost to do the wrong thing. We kind of lower the bar. Or do we believe in them? Do we reprimand them when we should? Do we, in a constructive, positive way? Do we show them the right way when we need to? Are we even maybe strict or perhaps a little bit harsh for them when we need to be in the right way? But then do we smile? Then do we love them? Then do we give them a clean slate? What's the message when a child made a very big mistake? What's the message when they walk in the next day to the dining room where the whole family is sitting? What message do they pick up from us as parents? Are we giving them a completely new slate? Do we greet them with love? Do we smile at them? And do we assume and believe that they're just going to do the right thing? Do we expect them to have a fresh day and have a second chance? Or do we kind of carry over the upsetness or the anger from the day before? I think one of the things we can learn to set an example of this message of nothing is lost, there's always a second chance, the Pesach Sheni message, is to show that we do the same with them themselves, with our own children. We give them a second chance all the time. A second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance. As we know, it's not just a second chance because we say every day in Shemona Esrei that Hashem is Chanun Hamarbe Lisloach. Hashem abundantly forgives. What does that mean? As the Mefarshim explain, Hashem, He forgives us again and again and again, even if we repeat the mistakes that we make. We too need to be chanun hamar b'lislech. We have to do what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does. We have to always forgive, always educate when we need to, but then give it a completely clean slate, leave it behind, and show the child that today is a new day, and we view them as a good person, as a good child, expecting them in a positive way just to behave properly, to learn well, and to do the right thing. If we set that example, maybe they will put that example into their own lives, that if they feel they failed, they will come back and try again. Have a wonderful day and a good Shabbos.